Cooking in Black Desert can be a huge monster to get started with, and with having so many different kinds of ingredients to choose from, it can be confusing. Should you buy all the ingredients, or should you gather them? With some ingredients able to be gathered easier and faster than others, choosing a dish can be hit or miss. Welcome back to the channel all about life skilling. My name is Teddy, and today we're heading out to the Mountain of Eternal Winter region to start picking some citron to be cooked later on. So if you were curious on if citron was worth gathering, or just wanted another dish to make, get on those Manos gatherer's clothes and let's endure the winter for some citron gathering. There are so many recipes in Black Desert, and with how long it takes to level up cooking, choosing a dish to cook is heavily dependent on the ingredient available. Some of these ingredients are easier to get than others, making certain dishes cost less, but don't worry, I'll be showing you a recipe that can get you some good money, experience, or imperial seals if that's what you want. Heading out here to Elton has a special place to gather some ingredients for cooking a large amount of these region's recipes. Besides the mushrooms out here that on their own rights can make money, I'm out here for the citron, and it just so happens to be here in Mazeland Citron Orchard only, making this a little annoying. Sure, workers can come out here to gather them, but with as slow as it takes, doing it manually will get me more than enough. For those of you who aren't aware of what dishes can be made using citron, these are required for the citron candy, citron juice, citron vinegar, and lastly, the Elton sandwich. But enough about what I plan to use these for. Let's get buffed up and get started on gathering. I make sure to use the event buff and the event buff item for the added gathering mastery, experience, and the gathering item drop rate. I'll be using my Agger's gathering so I can get the most out of being out here. Lastly, I picked up Liana's daily and weekly gathering quest. Here is my gathering mastery, and with all of that out of the way, let's just jump into this. Coming out here to gather citron is a great way to gather the fruit needed for alchemy while gathering the cooking ingredients. And I know it's not a great place like Bear or gathering corn or potatoes to gather fruit, but with no faster way to gather citron other than the workers and buying them, gathering them manually is going to be a lot quicker than using a worker. Speaking of workers, using an artisan goblin will help. The only downside of choosing the node out here is the lack of worker lodges. I do have an artisan worker box waiting for when I get another lodging spot, but will cost some pearls if you choose to take the Balix Camp workshops and not the lodging like I plan to do. There are many citron out here, so I will have to keep changing the channels, but if timed correctly, there shouldn't be too much time to wait between the cooldowns, but there are times we'll end up waiting to change channels. This can be avoided, or at least the cooldown can be reduced when using your guild home channels. Really fast, let me know if you've gone citron gathering before, or if you choose to not bother with these. While you're down there, be sure to leave a like if you're enjoying seeing the random ways you can make silver in Black Desert Online. But back on to gathering, I'm pretty sure I can get 5,000 or 6,000 citron in the 2 hours, which will help, but this will be done over a couple of days to get the amount of citron needed for what I need. I plan to make at least 16,000 Elton sandwiches or close to it, which will need at least 29,000 or 32,000 total. I'm not exactly sure. I've been live streaming gathering the citron before, so I've managed to get 20k already. This is going to help with how quickly I can get the dishes made up. Being out here in the winter region is pretty calming. The snow really gives it a nice feel opposed to the usual sand or forest. And don't get me wrong, there aren't enough gathering nodes out here to make it more permanent like I wanted to with the shared storages now. I'm just hoping with the new Hanzo region there'll be more gathering, but with no word on anything life skilling out there, I'm starting to feel like it's going to be like the Mountain of Eternal Winter region. All combat and barely anything to gather. With the halfway mark coming up, here's what I was able to gather so far. Getting all buffed up again and making sure I have my energy as high as I can, let's get back into gathering. I plan to use all the black gem fragments for enhancing any new Manos clothes for my alts. This is a nice way to get a couple hundred. Don't worry though, I plan to make a couple small guides on how to make your own Manos clothes without touching the central market, using just life skilling and some mob grinding. Because gathering has a chance to spawn the buried treasure for more fruits, hearts, and sharps, I made sure to keep a hold of a couple gold keys and, just in case, a silver key on me. You never know when you're going to come across a silver chest. This could be a little boring with the lack of trees to gather, and with the need to keep changing channels. The end result will be worth it, but alas, this is not going to make you 100 million on your own. Also, this is not meant to be the best gathering guide, nor is this a way to show you how to make the most money while gathering. This is just a fun way to show you how I life skill, and you should just enjoy the game at your own pace. For those looking to farm these in your own personal fences, the seeds can be obtained while gathering, and for an easy place to put your friends, these can be done right here outside of Windmill's Perch. I've done this for a couple months, and as a warning, the green and blue grade citron cannot be exchanged like the special pepper or garlic, but can be used for alchemy stone growing. If choosing to use a higher grades for cooking, it'll reduce the amounts needed, but it can be a bottleneck with how long it takes to grow the crops, and not having a worker to prune the plants when not around can make it take longer to grow. Setting up an alt at the farm can speed this up, but still is a huge bottleneck. I suggest having citron farms on the side to supplement the gathering and workers working the node. With the 2-hour mark slowly coming to, here's what I was able to gather, and let's head back out and to see how much this is going to make me if I was to list this all on the central market. Getting back in town, it's time to start listing everything. The citron will make me about 23 mil, but it's going to be saved for cooking later on. Moving on to the rare drops, the black gem fragments can make me 12 mil, the sharps will make me about 36 mil, and the hards will make me about 38 mil. Converting all the spirit dust into Caphras made me about 13 Caphras. This will make me 39 mil. Lastly, I was able to get 27 Fairy's Breath, which is going to come in handy when building up the contribution points, also leveling up my alts gathering on the side too. In total, I was able to make about 148 mil, which if choosing to sell isn't the best, but it's not like Star Anise gathering. This was a nice way to get the citron needed while the workers are gathering and earn a little extra silver on the side. Needing a massive amount of citron for all the recipes here in the winter region, solely relying on fences and workers can be extremely slow. Coming out here and gathering can have you cooking sooner rather than later. I'll have to come back out here for the mushrooms for more winter recipes like the Mesma or Chanterelle for the Alton or specialty Alton meals. They can be used for guru boxes, selling, or just for my personal use. Keep in mind, having higher mastery will make more money on the side, and I can't wait to see what the next bracket of gathering mastery can make me when I eventually can get the Pen Mana's Gatherer's Clothes. But if you want to see how to get your gathering mastery higher, or just want to level those life skills, click this video here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep gathering out there.